Anyway, it gets really complicated as basically I was a 3 foot tall creator, Lucifer Star, and many people looked at me as a child or like they were my parents and were very protective of me. Like I said, many people in 1920s or real 1920s, real 1930s, and real 1940s looked at me as basically like their son or their child. Like even though I am the creator or the one who actually created their genetics and also created horse genetics and also did all these things, many people looked at me as basically an innocent child, which was very nice and very kind of them, and I love them very much for it. Like I could feel their love for me as a child, or as basically, it's kind of weird because like I'm their creator, and they look at me as if I was an innocent child and all that other stuff, and I loved them for it and cared about them and didn't want them hurt and everything else like that. But they have to know basically what I truly am, which is basically the creator to 12 different types of life, including some very vicious and psychotically dangerous life forms, which are there out there in the galaxy and universe, which were put far away from Earth. And generally, I told not to bother the humans on Earth, as they could wipe the walls with you and kill you in your sleep or take over your bodies and play with your minds like it was nothing. So anyway, I told them not to do that and to let you generally decide what you should do on your own. So anyway, but in 1920s and 1930s, a lot of people were very protective of me and looked at me as basically as if I was just their child. So it was like I had a planet full of parents, and they were worried about my safety, which was very kind of them, and I thank them very much for. So anyway, yes. So it gets very complicated as basically, I am the one who genetically created you and furthered you and gave you white teeth and all kinds of other stuff. And I am more than just a child. So anyway, though, but whatever. Also protecting you and trying to keep you from being tortured by some other group. Like I said, the exoskeletons were very pissed off at you for torturing them because you tortured a lot of them. So anyway, they were going to torture the whole planet, but I said no at some point in time. Well, actually, at first I said I don't really care, and they were going to do, and then I looked at how many people they were going to torture, and it was ridiculous, like 500 million or something like that. And I was like, well, no, that's too many. We'll just have to pick the 1,000 of the worst people. So anyway, and one of those worst people was basically JFK, Nixon, and a few other people. So anyway, but those people were beyond redemption as they were trying to kill me or something like that. I don't really know. Like I say, I'm just telling you all this stuff so you can rationalize and figure it out for yourself. Like I say, I've told you my involvement in everything and also exactly how much I had. And like I said, at many times I basically gave it over to my counsel as basically saying, well, I don't feel I can realistically make this kind of decision on my own without more information. I feel I do not have enough information, and I will have to ask you and ask the group for anything. Like I said, that's why I was bringing the Indians, the Indian. That's kind of why we created the UN and stuff like that. So the Indian Council. So all these different groups within my planet can work together, and keep me from making a mistake that would involve basically the slaughtering of their people, because I didn't want that. And a person of my power and my stature can easily accidentally kill millions of people by accident. So anyway, it gets very complicated as basically there are 800 galaxies of life forms out there that basically all call me their creator and the civilization builder of their of their lifelines, basically, or their civilizations. So anyway, it gets very complicated, and I did the best I could. So anyway, and the rest of it you're just gonna have to deal with and figure out for yourself. So anyway, like I said, that's why we left so many tablets and so many records, and we had so much film and so many of everything, so you could have some idea of what was going on. And this is why I also tell these stories, so you can understand who I am, so you can understand who you are, and so you can understand what else is going on in the universe. So anyway, whatever, it doesn't really matter, but basically you can trace me through my existence, and also know that I own the LS, or Lucifer White Star Mining and Shipping Company. So, and also American Airlines. But like I said, JFK or Nixon was trying to take over everything. But then again, so was Lincoln. So, like I said, he was trying to say that he adopted me and he was my father, and therefore he basically was entitled to everything I owned, which is just ridiculous. And basically, China went after him pretty much. and was trying to kill him because, well, he was lying and he was trying to kill, conquering it. Anyway, whatever. Like I say, you're just gonna have to ask the Chinese about it, and ask the Russians about it, and ask the rest of the world about what was going on with Abraham Lincoln. So, anyway, as they had a clearer picture of what was going on, and I was technically dead.